Occupational hazard. Mike was obviously kept himself as the host and then logged out. Never mind. We're back. We'll wait for the other guys to join us. We can see that Kevin from Nat West is with us as well.
How are you doing, guys? You okay?
Hi, Kevin. Yep. So please don't do, Kevin, what Mike from LV did after I made him the host. He told me it made me back the host again and logged out. So we're all logged out, so we're just logging back in again.
Oh, no worries, mate. No problem.
Was there anyone else who was with us? Yeah, there was. Michelle was with us, wasn't she? So we'll just...
Everything just went blank. You're like, what?
No, I know. Never mind. Anyway, I've had a very while wait for Michelle. Very nice. 3 days up in just outside of Holmfirth.
Oh, very good.
And I've sent some pictures. I've been to what's one of those places called where they serve alcohol? A pub.
Oh no! I remember them.
In fact, I went to a pub on Monday, and I went to a pub on Tuesday, and I went to another pub on Wednesday.
Is there any summer wine left, I may ask?
Well, there's not as many references, Donald. I think you're showing your age and mine by the the summer wine references. There is a tour, but it doesn't seem a lot of point really. So
no, yeah,
lots of walking. But managed to go to 3 different pubs. A lot of the pubs weren't open yet, to be fair. I think they're waiting for food. But and on Monday it was bloody cold. Sat outside the pub, but yesterday in the sunshine it was lovely. Right, doesn't look as though anybody else is going to come back. So, Kevin, would you like me to make you the host?
No, let's not mess about.
Yeah, right. That's safer then.
Let's just leave it as it is. And,
Mike Kerr was just saying he's been the BDM for Linear for 9.5 years, and if it's anything to do with me, that's it now. He's done. No, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, it is. If the floor's over to me, I believe yes. I've got 15-minute kind of slot. Is that what you're looking at?
That's exactly it, Kevin. Thank you.
That's spot on for me. So yeah, so thanks, guys. I think a few of us might remember. I can't remember how long ago it was, but it's probably a couple of years ago minimum that we had some fine dining at the RBS building in Manchester. I know a few of you were at that one.
Yeah, I remember it well.
And we had a good night, a few good sherbets at the time. But yeah, I just wanted to, a few things I wanted to cover off. I'll not make this interactive and start throwing out questions because I'll do it a bit more of a download of information and give you an update on where we're up to. So first and foremost, service, guys, we're smack bang where we want to be on the service right now. Yeah, all lenders had a few challenges last year, but forget that now. We're underwriting cases in 2 working days. That's both employed and self-employed cases. We've got extra underwriters on the unit. We've also deployed another 40 people on the floor for answering calls on the service centre. So that means we're answering calls in under 2 minutes on average. So that's smack bang where we want to be right now. We're also launched an additional line to support the stamp duty holiday extension. That line is an option 2 on the service line, and it's mainly for people like solicitors chasing urgent completions from Nat West. So we're facilitating that holiday, if you like, trying to help. We've also aided the stamp duty holiday extension by allowing search indemnity insurance on purchase cases, something we've never done before, but we're allowing that now to aid with land registry delays. And all offers can be extended by up to a month currently, except new build, which you can get up to an additional 6 months on new build, total of 12. So all those things we're doing on the service. We're about to launch, and this is the really hot news off the press, a brand new system for yourselves. You might well have that by the 28th of this month, if all goes to plan. This is a brand new system. The bank's now doing 80% of its mortgages through intermediaries. So it's facilitated us to be able to invest in this new system. It's going to be great. So you're moving on from a hard footprint currently to a soft footprint search that's coming on this new system. When you do a dip on the new system, you'll have a guarantee of acceptance for 30 days. if nothing changes. So that's good. Guarantee of converting it. We will not be revisiting the bureau within those 30 days of an accepted dip. So really good. There's a phase 2 to this. You'll be getting a mortgage certificate. That'll be coming, not initially, but in phase 2, which will probably be in the following month after the launch. So lots of really good stuff on the new system for you. So we'll make a big splash on that when we get it. The 95% mortgage guarantee scheme will come after the launch of the new system. We can't do them both together due to some system constraints, but we will launch it afterwards to you. I know that there are other lenders making a noise about that right now. I've just heard that Halifax have announced something in the last 15 minutes on it. So you might see that in your inbox. But the more competition, the better. Where I see that, 95% mortgages in the market, the more players there are, the more likely it'll drive the pricing down, possibly even drive down credit scoring. Who knows? But if lenders want the business, it's better that there's a fight over it than not. So that's good. So you'll get that as well. We're currently doing 90% max LTV on purchase and remortgages. Just to recap, remortgages max capital raise is 80. That includes debt consolidation. If you're consolidating debts with us, we don't factor in those debts being consolidated into the affordability. Some lenders do, like we know. In Nat West, they're still not doing that. If you're doing a house move and someone's paying debts off from equity in the house sale, we don't factor those debts in either. So that's good. We can do second residentials up to 90%, guys, as well, quite commonly for family members to live in, and the affordability is quite generous if you practice on there. Deposit sources. Most lenders, it's probably fair to say, allow a family gift of family gift of cash. We allow a third-party gift as well. So that's more commonly where it's maybe partner-to-partner gifts. Maybe one of them's doing the mortgage, the other one's living in the house, but gifting the deposit, or maybe it's coming through the partner's family. We'll allow that as a third-party gift. We also allow parents to, most parents might gift a deposit, but some might not want to treat it as a gift. They might want the money back on resale. So we'll let them treat that as a loan. We have a flexible document on the gift letter that allows you to strike out the word non-repayable, non-refundable gift, and it can be a loan repayable on resale. So that's parental gifts. And we allow the parents to create a second charge to protect their interests in those situations. So that's good as well. Gifts of equity. We allow gifts of equity between family members. There's got to be a family connection. It doesn't have to be immediate family. We've done them for example, uncles to nephews, even godparents maybe. There's got to be a family connection. But here's one for you. We allow a gift of equity where the person gifting the equity remains in the house. So example, elderly parents, now late 70s, early 80s, owe a bit of money on their family home, decide that they don't want to sell it really, they'd sooner carry on living there. So we'd allow them to sell it to some daughter raise a mortgage to buy out mum and dad, but allow mum and dad to live in the house. That can be done on a second residential for some daughter, for example, and we treat the full equity gift as full deposit. Get any like that, please feel free to give us a ring on them. So that's equity gifts. Income types, guys, we're really strong still. So we'll take most forms of income at 100%. Example, nurse, permanent role, NHS, within that role, shift allowance, overtime, weekend work, we're going to take 100% of that, guys. We don't need a P60 now because we'll see the March pay slip year-to-date payable on there, taxable pay. So we'll just need 3 months pay slips for those. If that nurse is doing nursing bank on the side to supplement the main income, we'll take 100% of the bank. We need 6 months track record for the nursing bank. That's just one example. We'll take 100% of most benefit incomes as well. That could include universal credit. If you do happen to get those, have a look at the breakdown of what they're receiving within the universal credit. We have to take off housing benefit, but we'll take the majority on an average of 3 months. So benefit income, example that we've done recently, single parent, mum, 3 kids, Part-time role, earning 10,000 from part-time, was receiving 19,000 in universal credit, no housing benefit within that 19. Underwriter accepted the full 19 plus the salary, 100%. So you can do them where the benefit income exceeds the salaried income. Benefit only cases we can consider doing as well. Example, you've got a parent, can't work, looking after disabled children, receives DLA or PIP and carers allowance, as well as your child tax credits. We allow that 100% as well. So guys, we can cater for a lot of different scenarios within that. Look out for, just keep my eye on the time here. Look out for furloughed income. Our current stance on furlough is we need the customer to have been back in for a full month before we can accept the full salary. So 1 month's pay slip. We can do partial furlough, not flexi furlough. So look out for the difference. The actual partial furlough, we'd class as someone in for 4 days, perhaps, and then furloughed 1 day. So we'd take the 4 days salaried income. So partial we can do. And self-employed guys, we're open for business. We haven't restricted our loan to value for self-employed. Big tip, when you're doing the affordability calculation, put £1 in the capital and interest box because there's a slight glitch in the system. Excuse me. So it'll only give you, it won't give you the maximum lend unless you put in a pound. Put a pound in, it tells you what the max is. If you try and achieve 200,000 and it's only able to give 199,000, it doesn't tell you that. It just comes up with a zero. It's a glitch. Put £1 in the capital and interest box. It'll give you the max then. Self-employed, we're open for business. Please do give us a call to discuss any cases that you've got. What else have I got there? Buy-to-lets. We're doing first-time buyer or non-owner occupier buy-to-lets. We're doing let-to-buy with an onward purchase up to 90%. And we're also top slicing on income for the higher earners to cover rental shortfalls. That's briefly in a nutshell. Foreign nationals. We know there's been a bit of talk around settlement, pre-settlement status. We do have a section on our website for this, so you can refer to it under the foreign nationals A to Z lending criteria. But just be mindful that if you've got one applicant who's got permanent right to reside and your second applicant doesn't have, that's okay. We'll treat the application as though both of them have, so we can go up to 90%. So that's really good. So that takes me practically up to the end. Oh, product transfers, guys. That was the other one I was going to throw in. Not only do we do product transfers, but we allow additional borrowing within that facility. So if you only in conjunction with a product switch though. So if your customer's products come into the end, you can apply for additional borrowing there and then. We'll do a minimum 10,000. The good news is that we pay a full proc on the difference, which is subject to a minimum £250. So we are at least rewarding you for doing that business with us. And it's a simple transaction to do as well. And that was pretty much what I had, which takes me just to close on 2:30. So is that all right for you, Steve?
Absolutely fine. Thank you, Kevin. Has anybody got any questions for Kevin? No?
Yes. Can I ask? Sorry. Can I ask? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, fire away.
Sorry, my camera's broke, so that's why you can't see me.
That's what they all say.
Oh no, honestly, it's true. It's true. But can I just go back? I've had a nightmare with a case. A month, first-time buyer, saved 21,000, gifted for his parents 21,000. So on a salary basic 36,000, he gets a dividend paid into his salary. He's employed. He pays tax and he pays national insurance on it. It's a free dividend that's given to high performance staff. Only certain staff get it. I've had 14 months pay slips. I've gone to so many lenders, all been declined. Nearly gave up today, and Barclays have come back and actually said they will consider looking at. They sent it to a senior underwriter. I'm preparing that. So I'm just bringing this point up because you said about other income there, and I wanted to see what your point of view was that if that was presented to you, because I was told that I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of different factors. When you get someone who got does this person have a minority shareholding in the business?
No. The dividend is worth 1p, and he gets paid how the company is performing. He also gets a performance bonus, which is the same as his dividend. 1 month it was a bit more, it was double than what the dividends, but on 14 months, the dividend's been £200 a month that's paid, which he pays tax and national insurance on that because it's in his pay packet. And then he has a production bonus, and that's between 150 to maximum of £400 for the last 14 months. His company have just bought some land last year, built their own factory because they're performing so well, and they moved into that at the weekend, so that the company's no longer paying for rent and rates and stuff like that for a rented place. So the company's excelled under COVID, but I could not get a lender to actually, I'd referred them to the places on HM Revenue and Custom. I spoke to the tax office. I've spoken to everybody. I finally got a clip that they actually could see that it was a free share that the company gives to these high performers. He's been there since he's been an apprentice and now he's a project manager. And nobody, they just kept saying they needed the SA 302s. And I said, he's not self-employed, he's employed. It's been extremely frustrating, to say the least. And I nearly threw my computer at the wall yesterday because I was that upset about it. But anyway, it looks like we've got somebody that's actually took a bit of common sense and is actually going to look at it, and it was referred to senior underwriter. And I am in the process of doing that application. But if that ever came up again, it's nice to know if somebody else can do it, because everyone said no.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think it's an unusual one, I've got to say. We don't get very many like that. So I can understand perhaps a few people getting mixed up with the dividend. But the fact remains, if the dividend is shown in the pay slip and is taxable, so it's PAYE, then we can take it. You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how it's.
It definitely is PAYE.
You know, we're going to look at that,
and he's paid tax on it.
Yeah, we're going to look at that year-to-date taxable figure on the March pay slip. If that dividend is in there, that we can take it. We'll take nearly all forms of income. There's not many that we don't, and if it's taxable income and we can see it over in your example, 14 months, you're saying?
Yeah.
We'd be.
Yeah, I've got it for 14 months. And it's on his last P60. We're just waiting on his new P60 coming in now that confirms all of that income. And what was the other thing that it confirmed it as well?
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's why I was so frustrated, because I just thought this is silly. This is good business, you know.
Angie, if you've placed it, then obviously you may not want to take the conversation any further. But if you do want to take the conversation further, I'm sure Kevin would be happy to discuss it with you in some more detail offline. If you go down the route with Barclays now, then no worries whatsoever.
Well, I think I would, because it's a backup for the client as well. That's why I needed to ask the question. So
maybe
thank you
for
Kevin,
that. Offline if you want to, then, in terms of that. Has anyone else got any other questions for Kevin? No? All right. You're welcome to stay with us if you want, Kevin, but we fully understand if you've got to go and do other things. Thanks very much for your time.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate the opportunity. Thanks, Steve, and we'll catch up. If anyone needs me, just give us a bell.
Cheers, Kevin. Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Bye now.
Thank you.
Donald, over to you.
Thanks, Steve. Have I got ability to share screen? I wonder. Let's see.
I promise not to log us all off.
Hopefully that works. Let me just launch that. So can you see that as normal PowerPoint? Yeah, there we go. Afternoon, everybody. Just a few things to cover off this afternoon. Excuse me. So just having a quick look at the results there earlier on today. So I think we've reflected the experience of the network, I guess, over the first half of the month of Easter, with Easter month. I think a lot of people have taken advantage of having holiday time as well as the bank holiday and so on to extend that. So all things being equal, we're at nearly £100,000 worth of applications commissioned, so it's tracking well. But Steve, you're obviously been off for a few days, and you'll be coming with a late run, I should imagine, within the group there. Michelle, great to see where you're at. Cassie as well, great to see you up on the table there. So we'll see how the rest of the month pans out if people have been off and so on, and where we get to. But it's looking positive. Quick look back, because I wouldn't have had these figures the last time we had a meeting, but just from an overall perspective, if you like, from Primus as to how March performed. We can see across here, applications just slightly behind what the target would be, but still a rather colossal, nearly 18,000 mortgages in March. Protection applications hugely ahead of plan, 130% in March as well. So there's massive interest in protection going on. Lapses, kind of where we expected them to be. Completions, a little bit back. I think we're all still suffering a little bit the lockdown effect, slowing things down a bit. Indications at the moment, I think I put in my update yesterday, Primus is expecting, and this is from feedback from the lenders themselves, we're expecting a bit of a deluge this month, second half of the month, in terms of completions and commissions coming through, which would be good. And protection completions last month held up really well. So as far as it went, March was a record payout month for Primus as a whole. And the projection at the moment is it'll be another record month this month. So hopefully, we've all got some strong pipelines in there. Keep an eye on them, get them through, get them paid, and get them into your next month's pay. So that's the sort of the overall financial picture. In terms of some more key dials, if you like, what the network does in terms of checking things and so on. As you can see, these are the maze reports, and they genuinely do reflect the feedback that we see for yourselves in Linear. I know we tend to come to you individually and give you your feedback, but this is very similar. You've got a huge amount of surveys sent out, if you like, and the outcomes that we get back, nearly all on the positive side, and that's reflected on other measures as well. You can see number of complaints. Everybody gets complaints, just happens now and again. But the uphold rate very small, and that's reflective of the service that's being delivered by all advisors across Primus. The file reviews, so the court checks and so on, again very high on sort of satisfactory advice being measured. So yeah, a positive set. People should be confident that the advice that they're giving is genuinely, and the service that you're giving is generally extremely high. In terms of what sticks, so persistency levels. So this is really important, obviously, for pay packets again. So a 90% persistency level, it's green for a reason. The network will be happy with that as a level. You might be more aware individually of your own persistency levels. You'll have those discussions with your ASMs, I know, and your periodic meetings with them. But when it starts to drift down to the 85% level, people start to look at it and go, yeah, not so happy. So that's the overall level's good. Market share, we're still just under the 10% market share in the whole UK space. Headcount though is going up. So basically, 2681 is probably the highest number we've ever had in terms of advisors across Primus as a whole, and the current pipeline 327 is just going to take it to up to the next level, no doubt. Within that, we have 72 new AR firms that are looking to join Primus as well. So, and by the new role that I've got is I'm leading the sales director for Primus for Bob Scott's old patch. There's a huge amount of interest in there, people joining. I've been fielding quite a lot of inquiries there and dealing with pipeline people that are joining. So there just seems to be a genuine feel that Primus but my association Linear is the same, because it's obviously the proposition is the same. It is the place to be in the mortgage and protection market. One way or another, however somebody wants to work, coming under Primus as a whole is the best place to be. So, quick update on some other things. I had the pleasure of a 3.5-hour keep in touch meeting with Richard Coulson the other day and the other sales directors. So that was, we needed the old matchsticks in the eyes to keep us awake at the end of that one. But a number of positive things coming out of that. I'm just going to refer to a couple of notes that I made as well within that meeting. So Primus Conveyancing has kind of been relaunched recently, and I know some of you guys, you have your own conveyancing arrangements that you refer to, but it certainly seems that the proposition that they've got now on this Primus Conveyancing, led by a guy called Matt Brown and another guy called Josh Timberlake, they're seeing a significant increase in the number of but leads coming in on the conveyancing and the conversions. The conversions are about a third of what they receive, they will convert to business for conveyancing. And that has a knock-on effect, because you get lead payments on the outcome of those conveyancing work. Effectively, their pipeline has almost doubled year on year. So that's just following sort of early launch this year. So have a look at it if you're not aware of what the Primus Conveyancing thing is. Have a look on the hub or the systems to see what you can get, and give them a try. The other thing we had on yesterday, we had our friend Ramiz from Eligible, and I am still in conversations with Ramiz. We've put our presentation together and we put it to the linear directors, that's John Round and Rich Wilson and so on, to go ahead with it. We want to go ahead with the retained system as soon as we possibly can. It just needs to be signed off through finance, because it's going to be subsidised by linear. But the really positive news we got yesterday was that Eligible has been working with Primus, and it's going to be endorsed out by Primus and promoted out to AR firms, and they've got a link in with Toolbox, so we will be able to access the Eligible stuff through your Toolbox rather than having a separate dashboard. So bear with us while we get this contract over the line with them ourselves. But to give you an idea, they'll be marketing it out to appointed rep firms, sole traders and the like within Primus at a cost of £50 a month. Those of you that have expressed your interest in obviously in the new system will know that under linear we've got that significantly less for those of you that have chosen to take part in it. So Ramiz was moaning at me yesterday saying that we've got too good a deal, but I said that's fine, we'll just get that get that nodded through hopefully. So that was Eligible. We also had eServe on, obviously LSL's surveying arm, massive across the UK. And over the years, eServe has not really been a business that we've necessarily been that close to in financial services. It's obviously part of group and it's over there, and probably the closest you get is some of your lenders use eServe to go out and do surveys. So sadly, on occasion, it's moaning about the survey valuation as opposed to anything else. However, the winds of change. Basically, eServe are now under the direction of LSL Group. They are looking to work more closely with financial services, and what they're looking to do is come up with a referral facility for all advisors, for all AR firms and so on, which would result in you getting payments for any enhanced valuations like home buyer surveys or surveys that you introduce your client to, that they take up. So that's coming very soon. I can't give you the exact costs at the moment because that's kind of under wraps for the launch. But basically what's happening in the surveying market, eServe has been working with RICS, their sort of regulator, if you like, to surveys are going to be reclassified as level 1, level 2 and level 3 across the whole piece. Level 1 will be the home condition report, the basic valuation that your lender doesn't have to show your clients. Level 2 is equivalent to the home buyer's report. Level 3, it will be the RICS building survey. But what's also going to happen is eServe is going to launch an additional product. So as well as offering the 1, 2, 3, they're going to have their own bespoke product, which enables customers to go for a higher level of report than you would get in a basic valuation, and then choose to click on add-ons that they want to happen as part of their service, almost like a bespoke version of a home buyer's report, if you like. So that option will be there as well. And they'll be launching this with some sort of portal. So, you know, if it's something that you, in your discussions with your clients, are asking them, have you considered what type of survey you're going to have? You will be able to share a digital brochure, there'll be a portal and so on. If they wish to speak with eServe and get some advice about what they should have, you'll be able to introduce them in. If they sign up, go ahead. Ultimately, you'll then get a referral commission off the back of that. So that's eServe. That's I think a positive one looking forward. We had TMA Club on. So TMA is the LSL directly authorized mortgage club. It's our mortgage club for directly authorized firms, if you like, to place business through and buy services through. The reason I put them on here is TMA quite often do their own events, and virtual at the moment, as most things are. But they've actually got a new build event on the 22nd of April, which is next Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday, I think it is. A couple of hours in the morning. And it's an open invitation. So if anybody wants to go on to see a couple of hours worth of presentations around new build, I think eServe are going to be on there, a couple of lenders are going to be on there, and there'll be builders as well. It might just give you, if you want to have a bit of insight into that market, feel free to register under TMA. And a number of the AR firms that I'm dealing with now up in my new additional region have already registered. So even though we're under Primus, we're allowed to register for these, or you're allowed to register for these if you want to. Worth a look at their website, TMA Club, have a look at their events and so on. And nobody's going to pitch to you to go DA. It's very much a free program of events that you could log into much as you can with the Primus ones, to be honest. So that was TMA. Lastly, we had presentations from a business entity that we've got in LSL called Qualis Wealth. LSL's traditionally not been a player in the wealth market. It has no real intention of ever being a sort of pensions and investments type business. But what we are looking at is from the learnings from TMA Club over the last few years, where we provide these different services to directly authorized firms in the mortgage space. We've kind of translated that across to Qualis, and it's built on the back of part of the business that Personal Touch used to have, where they did have a wealth arm. And it's essentially trying to create something that would rival the likes of Simply Biz in the marketplace, where a firm that's directly authorized for wealth, pensions, etc., and wants to buy in their certain levels of expertise for servicing, for compliance, and so on. Qualis Wealth will be offering this up for DA firms. The reason for me taking a little bit longer on this today and showing you all these different things, there's a genuine feeling around at the moment within financial services that LSL is hugely going towards being a financial services firm that just happens to have some estate agents and a nice surveyor. So financial services is definitely the way forward. And there's a lot of cross-pollination is what a way of describing it, really. It's almost, for me, it's all about giving people access to things that they might not have thought of before, might not even be heading in the direction of going there. But all of these things might give us up some real opportunities as individuals to go, okay, I'm happy where I am in Linear, but the fact that I can pop onto a TMA Club thing, or I could refer somebody across to here for something else and so on, should all be part of your sort of general feel of what you get as being part of the business, really. So that's just a quick whistle stop of some of the things we covered off in Richard's meeting. Last thing for me is just the usual repeat of the events still going Monday morning, still proving popular, and I try to get on myself if I can just to see who's on, really, but also just to see what sort of numbers of people are still retaining interest in these type of things. So right at the moment we've got Protection Excellence on its new round again. We're deliberately doing this every 2 or 3 months. You'll just see the same things available again, repeating through, and the recordings will always be available. But taking part in it can be good as well, because it gives you the chance to pose questions. You can throw in the chat box and so on, these things. So next week, I think you're back to the old 9 box fact finding again. That's on next week, and you can see on there there's events planned regularly up until the end of June. I think we will continue with these beyond June, and June's a key day. We are looking at Primus as that's probably when we're going to have our offices back open again. So the head offices in Solihull and Chippenham and so on, as long as the government guidelines allow it, we'll likely have them staffed up rather than people working from home as they do now. But I do think that we'll retain these type of things because it's just a very handy way, a very efficient way of delivering training and allowing people to pick and choose what they want. So a bit of a long-winded one from me today, Steve, for a change, but that's me. I'll close this off, and if anybody's got any questions, I shall be happy to take them. So I'll hand you the host back. Right.
Questions for Donald from anyone? Couple of things to show you in terms of things that Donald mentioned there. I was just looking on the TMA website. So just to show you, that's the one that I think Donald's talked about, the virtual new build forum. Next Tuesday, it says at 10 a.m, 2 hours, and you can see who's on there as well. So it's something that's worth considering, even if it's not something that we necessarily do now, just to see if it's something that we can get involved in. From an interest point of view, and it's a couple of hours of CPD as well. Couple of other things I just want to share with you. Kevin from Nat West mentioned the Halifax announcement around the 95% guarantee scheme. This is the email that's come today. You probably know anyway, I think we've got 9 mortgage lenders that are doing 95% mortgages without the guarantee scheme, and then basically the big boys are going to do the guarantee scheme initially, or the big boys plus Virgin, although it sounds like Nat West, I meant to ask him actually, I suspect that Nat West will probably launch it through the branches, not through us straight away, because these things should start happening from Monday. So this is Halifax's one, most of which you'll probably be aware of. A couple of things I just picked out. New builds aren't included. You can't add the fee, but that's no surprise. This bit's interesting though, because it's a bit different for Halifax. Current credit commitments will be deducted in the affordability, even if they're going to be repaid. So obviously that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. And also, and again, those of you who are new to this probably don't remember this, but some of us a bit longer in the tooth do. But when you're doing a Halifax one for a dip, if it's on the mortgage guarantee scheme, there's a home buyer special mortgage guarantee scheme little button on the first page that you have to press. You just tick the box. So the home buyer special scheme. So if it's a 95%er, you need to tick that box on the first screen, otherwise it won't apply it as such. So we'll have a look at that. And then the other one on a similar vein is, and this will be interesting as time goes by, what are lenders going to do for self-employed where they've had government support? So this is Santander's stance. Can't say as I'm a massive fan of using Santander for self-employed on the basis of what I've experienced in recent times. However, this is what they're saying they're going to do. So basically, they're saying that they're going to ignore 2020 to 21 if the business has been adversely affected by COVID-19. Now, my initial reaction to that is that feels like quite a sensible approach, but they are going to take into account any borrowing that they've taken, any government support, which again, that's common sense really. So it'd be interesting as time goes by just to see how the mortgage lenders react to this, because obviously we're now in the new tax year and there'll be companies getting these figures. So no doubt they'll all have their own thoughts, but that's the first one I've seen. That's it from me. Anybody else got anything that they want to share with us? Asher, anything from you? Any questions you want to ask?
No questions from me, no.
How's home insurance going?
Really good, actually. Done a good one this morning. I went through a bit of old linear data for some old advisors that have left the company.
Yeah.
A wrong one that was due for renewal on the 20th is been with Payment Shield for 3 years, and I've just saved in £10 a month, so he's happy.
Right. Excellent.
Yeah,
Well done.
yeah. So that's what I'm in the process of doing at the minute.
Yeah.
Well
And
done. Good.
I know Donald did mention something in one of the emails, Donald, didn't you, where if people aren't picking these things up, then to explore the avenues of other people doing it. Asher does my home insurance clients for me, and I have to say, I quite like it when I see the email from Asher each month telling Hutch to give me some money for doing bugger all. Really, I quite enjoy that. So because you're doing all the work, really, Ash, and I'm just teeing it up a little bit. Cassia, anything from you?
No, nothing from me, thank you.
You're obviously one of Ash's big fans as well, because I keep seeing her recommending you on Facebook to people in your area.
That's teamwork.
Yeah. I'm looking for her to recommend me to people in my area, but that's not happened yet. But I'm sure it will eventually. I'm doing all right, so don't worry. Shamina, anything from you?
Nothing from me, Steve. Now.
Okay, Steve, anything from you?
Oh, you're on mute, Steve.
I'll take that as a no, because we can't hear a word you're saying.
No, I do have something. That probably
That's it.
explains why when I was trying to ask the question before, it wasn't answered. You couldn't hear me. I've got a question for Donald. I spoke to Ross yesterday about the quality of the linear logos on the suitability letter. They're exceptionally poor. Were you aware of that?
Just the Linear Financial Solutions logo itself?
No, the one at the bottom, the address and the telephone number and the little I don't know, the laurel leaf logo. You can't read it at all, and it doesn't look very good.
I'll send you an updated version, because I think the laurel leaf version has been withdrawn.
That's still on. When we do the suitability letter on the system on Toolbox,
Toolbox,
it prints
right.
it out automatically.
No, that's fine. I'll take it away, because we've got an updated letterhead that doesn't have that laurel logo on it. So
Ross said that, but I was just telling you, because I'm not being funny. When you're sending out the letter to client, you know, financial service company, and you're thinking, I can't even read that.
No, you're absolutely fine. We've overlooked the fact that that's obviously loaded behind the scenes in Toolbox.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I'll make a note on that. I have to go, guys. I've got a 3 o'clock with Richard Coulson, but thanks for pointing that out, Steve.
No problem. You're welcome.
We'll get that sorted in the next sort of few days, I would think.
Okay.
I'll have to rely on Lucy and Ross to do it, because I won't have a clue what I'm doing.
No bother.
All right.
Cheers, Donald.
I have to dash. All right, cheers, guys.
Anything else from you, Steve? You've gone quiet again.
I know. I was putting myself on mute, so it didn't affect the call. No, other than the frustration of everybody out at the moment in terms of live cover. It's live cover this week. I now know why I didn't bother doing it before, because the providers never answer the phone.
Oh no, start trying to talk to people. Some of the underwriters are okay, but the rest of it, legal in general, don't get me started on them.
I even had problems with the the pre-underwriting screens as well, because I've spoken to a couple. I mean, who was it this week? It was Guardian. I spoke, because we're on the trial apparently for a pre-underwriting screen, and I spoke to them. They told me that it'd be loaded 75%. Put it through, didn't get accepted. Went to GP report, and they declined them full stop.
Oh, great. Not what you need, is it?
No.
Angie, anything from you?
No, all good. Thanks, Steve.
No. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone. Nice to speak to everyone. We should have a few more people with us in a couple of weeks' time, unless other people decide to take some holidays. It gets a bit warmer. If you've not been to the pub yet, come on, get yourself there, even if you have to book, Angie. Support your local business.
You can shut us off now, Steve.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.